Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noval Aditya. I want to make a final test of LC English class. I will convey some news about reasonable grounds to believe Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, UN rights experts say. There are reasonable grounds to believe Israel is committing the crime of genocide against the Palestinians as a group in Gaza. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Palestinian territories has said. Francisca Albanese made the remarks Wednesday following the submission of her latest report called Anatomy of Genocide to the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva on Monday. Speaking at press conference, Albanese said Israel has committed 3 acts of genocide with requisite intent, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, and deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. Israel said it utterly rejects the report, which it said brings shame on the Human Rights Council. It is no surprise that the premise of this report is that the creation of the Jewish state in 1948 was an act of settler colonialism, and genocide is an inherent part of that act. The permanent mission of Israel to the United Nations in Geneva said in a statement on X and on Monday. The statement also blamed the UN expert for delegitimizing the very creation and existence of the State of Israel. Albanese said there had been flagrant and systematic slaughter of Palestinian civilians, as well as the development of unlawful weaponry, the other operation of fatal civilian infrastructure, including the deliberate targeting of all Gaza hospitals, and the man-made starvation of the Palestinian people. The monstrosity of flooding is accompanied by a pervasive anti-Palestinian narrative and the humanization emanating from the uppermost tier of Israel society, including high-ranking officials with command authority and frequently reflected in soldier action on the ground. Albanese told the press conference before adding that this reflected intent to destroy in whole or in part, which is what distinguishes genocide from other atrocity crimes. The UN Special Rapporteur concluded the only reasonable inference that can be drawn is an Israeli state police and genocide violence toward in Palestinian people in Gaza. She said one of the report's key findings was that Israel executive and military leadership and soldiers have intentionally restored Jews in below principle, subverting their protective function in an attempt to legitimize genocidal violence against the Palestinian people. Jus in bello, or we call it justice in war, is the Latin term that refers to international law that governs the way warfare is conducted. Israel's diplomatic mission in Geneva, it is response also said the very attempt to level to the charge of genocide against Israel is an outrageous distortion of genocide convention. Israel war is against Hamas, not against Palestinian civilians, it added. That's all from me. Thank you and goodbye.
Panic as Israel carries out massive strikes. Palestinians fleeing as fear spreads. Bodies scattered across every corner of Al-Nusayrat refugee camp. Hundreds of victims of an Israeli operation to free captives held for months by Hamas.
We saw missiles flying over our heads. Nobody is protecting us. We don't know where the children are. We lost them, and now we're being displaced for a third time with no idea where to go.
As the bombardment continued, eyewitnesses say Israeli soldiers entered the camp concealed in a truck with Gaza license plates, opening fire on Palestinians.
I caught sight of a specialised forces unit. It had furniture in the vehicle to make it look like it belonged to displaced people. Suddenly, the operatives got out 2 ladders and came into our home, fully armed. Chaos erupted with gunfire and explosions.
The nearby Al-Aqsa hospital is flooded with injured Palestinians. Doctors describe the scenes inside the facility as a complete bloodbath. It looks like a slaughterhouse, one medic said. They're battling a situation that's near impossible. The number of dead after Israel's military assault on Al-Nusayrat refugee camp will rise. Dozens of bodies buried under the debris are still unaccounted for. The Israeli military has been attacking the area for weeks, intensifying its airstrikes every day.
I was playing with my friend. I came out and saw the stairs covered with blood. There was nothing. We remained inside and saw tanks going back and forth. The house was burning and the smells were awful.
Israel's latest attack has been condemned internationally, with the EU calling it a massacre and the killing of civilians appalling. Julie Dager, Al Jazeera.